Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday.
Yay.
Yeah, it's Friday. A damp one, but as I like to say, you can't judge the day by the weather.
That's a good one.
So
I might actually use that.
Go right ahead. I stole it. It came from Red Skelton. It is Friday. It is the 3rd of March. Of course, you know Friday means when we get around the bottom and do our birthdays. We'll do birthdays for the entire weekend.
There's a lot of people having birthdays.
There's a lot.
This
There's a
weekend.
couple that I know of that I haven't written down on there yet, so there's a few I may throw at you. We'll add them into the list, but we'll do all that at the bottom of the hour.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how much fun would it be to bring everybody in on this list, and just have a little birthday party?
It would be
fun.
cool. I don't know how practical it is, but it would be fun. You buying the cake every day?
Absolutely.
You heard it, folks.
I'll make the cake.
You heard it. So if it's your birthday, come on in. Larry will make you a cake.
That's right.
He said it. Of course, Larry and I are with you here today, wrapping up this week. Let us look at our history for today, of course, the 3rd of March. We'll go back to 1791. Congress passes a measure taxing distilled spirits. It was the first Internal Revenue Act in U.S. history.
How appropriate is that?
Distilled spirits would be the first. Well,
more things change, the
more they stay the same. Oh, yes. The only constant is change.
I quit smoking years ago, but I think I was in the store the other day, and I think I saw cigarettes for like $8 a pack. Is that
Yeah, the
right?
tax on a pack of cigarettes is like $3 now.
Yeah. Oh, California, it's even worse.
Oh, I'm sure,
Oh,
yeah.
goodness.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Everything's worse price-wise out there.
The amount of money they must collect on gas tax is astronomical.
Yeah. Well, got to pay for the road somehow. Although there are some people who use our roads who don't pay that tax.
Yeah, I heard about that.
1845, we inducted a lot of swampland. Florida became our 27th state. I mean, that's what it is. It's just the fact of the matter. They just covered swampland. Do you know that's one of the interesting things that at Disney, if you go to Disney, it was all swamp where Disney is,
right, yeah.
but you never see mosquitoes. Never. You know why?
No.
Two things. One, they specifically designed all of their water to be moving water, which helps cut down the mosquito eggs. If it's anything like streams and rivers, there are fish in them that will eat the eggs.
Smart.
And Disney actually mist sprays garlic. Concentrated. Now, it's so small that our human olfactories don't pick it up, but the mosquitoes can't stand it.
I mean, who came up with that, right? I mean, it's like
it was actually a Swedish engineer who was contracted by Walt to figure how are we going to handle this problem. We can't have this
garlic
mosquito infested.
Garlic will fix it all.
Yep. Science wins again. 1849, the U.S. Department of the Interior is established.
Wow.
In 1863, President Lincoln signs a measure creating the National Academy of Sciences. Thank you, Abe.
Go. Yeah, Lincoln.
Yep. 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner becomes our national anthem. President Hoover would sign that congressional resolution.
I wonder if there was a whole committee that was...
I am sure that there was, to pick a song.
Maybe they had a Zoom meeting.
Doubt it was Zoom. What would have been the Zoom of 31?
The Zoom of 31.
We're going to have a meeting at the bar. 1943, London's East End, 173 people die. Crush of bodies at the Bethnal Green tube station. It was used as a wartime raid air shelter, and it was during a bombing run from the Nazis. 45, the Allies successfully secured the Philippine capital of Manila from Japanese forces. In 1960, Lucille Ball files for divorce from Desi Arnaz just one day after they finished filming the final episode of the Lucille Ball Desi Arnaz show.
Do you think she was waiting for that?
Yeah, probably. Well, she was the business one
Yeah.
of the thing. He was a musician. She was the business person.
Yeah.
1966, one of my favorites. William Frawley would die at the age of 79. Speaking of Lucille Ball show.
Yeah.
He and Lucy never got along, though.
Is he the director, the
No,
producer?
William Frawley? William Frawley was Fred Mertz.
Oh, okay.
Was Fred Mertz.
Yeah, those
Brilliant
yeah.
character actor,
Yeah.
one of the greatest. He's in two of the most famous Christmas films of all time. Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah.
And
The Lemon Drop Kid.
huh.
Yeah. William Frawley was a great, brilliant character actor.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you don't know The Lemon Drop Kid.
No, I know that. Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Even if you lie to me, please.
Yeah, like
Lemon Drop Kid, Bob Hope, Marilyn Maxwell. It's where
sorry.
Silver Bells comes from.
Sorry,
It's a classic.
Silver Bells.
Lloyd Nolan's in it, too. I mean, it's a brilliant film. I'm going to have to loan you my copy. Yeah. 1969, Apollo 9 blasts off from Cape Kennedy on a mission to test the lunar module.
Now we're talking.
There you go. Big Jump, 1991. Well, not that big, I guess.
Rodney King.
Rodney
Oh,
King,
wow.
severely beaten
Wow.
in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Los Angeles police officers, of course, captured on amateur video. On the same day, 25 people killed when a United Airlines 737 would crash approaching Colorado Springs Airport.
Not a good day.
No, not at all. 2017, the Nintendo Switch, the hybrid game machine that is a console at home as well as a portable tablet on the go, would make its debut. For the teens, it is like the gaming system nowadays because you can play it at home on your TV or take it with you.
Exactly.
So, and we'll wrap up in 2020, just a few years ago. In a surprise move, the Federal Reserve cut the benchmark interest rate by half a point, the largest cut in over a decade. That, of course, was because of all the coronavirus stuff and how it was affecting the economy.
How did that work out for you?
Didn't really hurt me that much. Not half a point. Not half a point. Not too bad. Yeah, 5 years ago, David Ogden Stiers, of course, passed away at his home in Oregon. He was 75. Another brilliant character actor.
Yes, absolutely.
And probably has done a lot more than people realize because he did so much voiceover work.
Oh, okay.
He voiced cartoons,
Yeah.
several Disney films, as well as other cartoons and audiobooks and documentaries.
He
And,
has the voice, huh?
has the voice. And funny, I guess it was kind of one of those things that was almost typecasting because while he wasn't a pompous ass like the character he played on MASH, he was a brilliant individual like the character he played on MASH. So it was a little bit of typecasting.
Yeah, he had so much symbolism in him. You know,
Oh, yeah.
his character. Well, that whole show is just so brilliantly
It was.
written. It's like, oh my god! And then the chemistry between Alan Alda and
Yeah.
really Alan Alda and everybody else.
Alda's an
He brought 'em
interesting
together.
dude. He had a place very near where I grew up in
Oh,
Jersey,
really?
his beach home. Well, he was from Jersey.
Okay.
I grew up very near where I did, and had a home there, and would always come back home. Always kept his home there. One of those guys that you think, I guess, because of the characters he plays, he'd be real standoffish, but he's not. He's very personable of an individual.
Interesting, because that's exactly the impression I got from
Yeah.
him. You know, but
Yeah, that's it. It's funny because I think of him, and then the other side of the coin is Robert Wagner. Mm-hmm. So you would think he would be real personable, Jonathan Hart and the whole. No, he's very much. Is that all? Hey, I'm a fan. Can I get a picture? Is that all?
are you done yet?
Yeah, basically. Let's see. Celebrity birthdays.
Run.
Movie producer and director George Miller turns 78. Actress Hattie Winston is also 78 today. Singer Jennifer Warnes, 76. I didn't realize she was that old.
That's the worst thing you could say.
I didn't.
No, I
I
guess
mean,
it's
she
a
doesn't look
compliment.
76.
Right. She does look good.
Singer-musician Robin Hitchcock turns 70 today. Actor Robert Gossett, 69. John Lilly, the rocker, is also 69 today. Brilliant actress Miranda Richardson, 65. Ira Glass, radio personality, best known for his NPR programs. He is 64. Olympic track and field gold medalist Jackie Joyner-Kersee turned 61 today.
Remember watching him?
Oh, yeah. Herschel Walker, former NFL and Hall of Famer, 61 today.
That's a train wreck right there.
Herschel, yeah. Yeah, good one. That was good. That was quick. Actress Laura Harring is 59. Who else have we got? Oh, rapper from back in the day, Tone Loc, is 57. I remember reading, it was an interview that George Harrison gave talking about modern music, and he called him tone deaf, which I couldn't help but think was hysterical.
And then by him, of all people. You know, how deep does the wound go?
Like a guy who really can't sing, but love Harrison's songs. David Faustino, the actor, is 49 today. Ronan Keating, he's one of the singers from Boyzone. He's 46. Jessica Biel, the actress, is 41. And who else are we here? Camila Cabello, pop singer. She's 26 today.
She's good. She's a great performer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of her songs are very good. They're catchy without sounding too teeny bopper.
Yeah, she didn't overdo her performance either,
that's good.
But it was nice.
Good deal. That is good. All right, what can you celebrate today? Well, the first Friday of March, National Dress in Blue Day. I kind of made that work, and so did you, even though we didn't know it. So if you haven't gotten dressed yet, wear some blue. It's also National Cold Cuts Day. Ooh, little prosciutto, some capicola.
Some of these things just crack me.
Yummy. Oh, what they come up with? Yeah. Well, like it's also National Mulled Wine Day.
Now that makes sense to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think that should happen in December. Not March.
Maybe they have multiple ones. Maybe that's why they mold this
They probably do.
Do they say National Unmulled Wine Day?
Unmulled, that's just wine day. That's every day.
That's why they had to distinguish it.
That's it. It's National Anthem Day, of course, as we mentioned during history. It became National Anthem. It's the National Day of Unplugging. So maybe take a little while to turn off the cell phone, turn off the TV.
I had a whole different idea.
Get a little introspective, unplug. Have you got some sick relative you're thinking of that you don't really like? National Speech and Debate Education Day. So I'm sure that's something that the schools probably deal with.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. National Employee Appreciation Day. That's also one that falls the first Friday.
Did you hear that?
Month. Did I?
No.
What are you looking at me for?
I was just thinking of the...
Oh, for all the business owners out there. It's National I Want You to Be Happy Day.
How nice is that?
Yeah.
Does that mean like give somebody a smile and make their day?
Basically, yeah. Put a smile on someone's face and one on your own.
Excellent.
You know, just to try and see the happiness in other people's points of view is the whole idea of that.
I had a good friend in California, and he had this Smile Project, which was all about that. You just smile at people every day, all day.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference it can make.
It does. A little thing like that, and it makes you feel a whole heck of a lot better, too.
It is. There's a snowball effect to it.
You'd think we'd do it more often then, huh?
It certainly takes less muscles.
Yeah,
so maybe it's... I guess that's why we frown. Better exercise?
Turn that frown upside down.
Upside down. Haven't heard that one in a while. And finally, it's National Soup It Forward Day. That encourages you to deliver love and kindness by the bowlful. So on a rainy day like this, hey, it's a perfect day. If you're off, make a big bowl of soup, enough that you've got dinner for your family and maybe for your neighbors next door.
What's your favorite soup?
Oh, I like lots of soups.
Yeah.
My favorite, though, if I had to pick a favorite, I would, as long as I've got a grilled cheese sandwich, it's tomato soup. But I don't want a bowl of just tomato soup on its own.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But
I can even
I don't know.
do without it with a cheese sandwich, but it is required.
It's like if you're having tomato soup, you almost got to have a grilled cheese sandwich.
Do you consider like a beef stew to be really kind of a soup? I mean,
depends on how soupy it is.
Yeah.
To me, a stew is a stew, but the difference is a stew isn't swimming in broth.
Yeah.
That's a soup then.
At what level, though? I mean, is it just like barely skimming it?
If I've gotten all the stuff out and there's at least a third of a bowl of just liquid, that's soup.
That's a great definition.
That's soup.
That should be written down.
That's transcribe. To me, then that is a bowl of soup. If there's that much liquid left and there's no more solids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I made a stew a couple of nights ago, and I tried to get that soupiness off the top, so that I can get to the robust hardiness of
Make a roux, thicken it more.
A lot of times, what I do is I will cook my meat in flour and seasoning.
Okay.
And that way it locks it in, put it in there, and it turns into a gravy. When it's all
the
done.
flour. You're kind of, the roux is attached to the meat. Yeah, same kind of deal.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked soups, stews, always those kind of things. Yeah. Although it was funny, my mom, who makes a fantastic beef stew, used to make it a lot as a kid, especially in the wintertime, or she would make it when I was a kid. Carrots and potatoes, big hunks of vegetables in there. And she'd make these Bisquick dumplings.
Oh.
I would eat the vegetables. I would eat the meat was the least interesting part for me.
That's
I was
funny.
like, and it was always like, no, you have to eat some meat. You need some protein. I don't want the meat.
So you were one of those picky kids, huh?
No, I really wasn't.
Are you sure?
I really no. I just, even from a younger age, I would rather have eaten more vegetables than I was. Just never been a big meat person. Never have.
It's changed over the years for me, but yeah. It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have the appeal that it used to have. And every once in a while, you bite into a burger and recoil like, "What is this stuff?"
Even now, I never. And then that was solidified with me in my early teens when I started reading Jefferson's papers and stuff, and heard how much more he was into vegetables, and always thought a lot about Jefferson. So I thought, okay, I'm in good company. I don't need to change.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
But there you go. Those are the things you can celebrate today. I think it's a beautiful day for actually a bowl of soup.
It is. Are you saying you would eat a bowl if somebody brought some down for us?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, it's a little early in the day to have a good soup made. Takes time, but I'm not one to shy away from free food. In any case, give us a call if there's something you would like to discuss. It's an open program. Otherwise, we're just going to jibber jabber and chit chat at you. 434-394-0924 is the number. Got about 5 minutes before we get down to the bottom of the hour with all of our birthday goodies, as well as, of course, look at our weather. Do have one celebrity death to pass on. Some sad news. Influential jazz innovator Wayne Shorter, whose lyrical compositions and pioneering sax playing sounded for just over half a century of American music, has passed away. He was 89. Wow. Yeah, died late yesterday at his home in L.A. No cause of death has yet been given. Now, he was a tenor saxist, probably best known. He debuted about 59. Art Blakey and then Miles Davis. He started with Art Blakey, two of probably the biggest seminal jazz groups of the early 60s.
Are you a Miles fan?
I like some of his stuff. I don't like that fusion kind of jazz.
Really? Okay.
As much as I do more standard jazz.
Yeah. I love the fusion.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So you like
much.
A lot of Dizzy's work too, and Thelonious Monk, and
I'm a trumpet player. That was my main instrument. So Miles was an attractive hero for me.
Understandable. Well, I mean, 8 decades Wayne played. He even co-founded the 70s band, fusion band, Weather Report, and made 10 appearances on Joni Mitchell albums. So he's on 10 of her albums.
There are a lot of those people that, I mean, are a little bit understated, It's like you don't know, but they've influenced your life without you knowing it.
You didn't realize it, but they're on all these songs and all these classic albums and things like that.
I did a little project with a guy, Scott Benzel. He was the lead singer to Machines of Loving Grace. And he had a song on the Crow album, the first Crow album.
Oh, okay.
And that album went platinum, so he's considered having a platinum album. But he was, he was fairly known. He traveled, he did his tours across the country in small venues and everything. And he lived in Tucson when I was living down there, and we got together and did this project called Brazil 666. And it was based kind of on Miles Davis. I know, it was his choice. And, he was the star.
It's a fun playoff with Mendez.
Exactly. So, but that was great. I really enjoyed doing that kind of Miles Davis
style,
work, and I would pretend I was channeling him sometimes, and who knows, Miles was weird. He may have come back and, visited a trumpet through me.
What was the great quote? Somebody asked Miles Davis, he said, he's like, you don't play like anybody else. and he said, I play like me. Who should I play by? Like, it's like, that's kind of a silly statement to make, and you kind of admit that is kind of silly.
It's kind of the problem with the whole world is that everybody's trying to put everybody else in some kind of box and definition
be
that
somebody
they can
else.
Be happy with.
Yeah, just be who you are. We talk about Wayne being on 10 Joni Mitchell albums. Well, Joni's in the news as well. Joni Mitchell finally took the stage near the end of an all-star tribute concert that honored her as this year's recipient of the Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song. Now, she opted to perform a cover rather than one of her own. The 79-year-old legend leaned against the piano and crooned out a sultry version of Summertime.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. Popular tune, of course, from Porgy and Bess. Interestingly enough, not written. It's always misconstrued that George and Ira wrote that song together. They didn't. They didn't. Those lyrics were written long before. George put that particular arrangement and composition. So George Gershwin did do the music for Porgy and Bess, but Ira Gershwin did not write the lyrics of Summertime.
It's so iconic.
It's a beautiful song.
I don't know how many times I've done that. It's the perfect little song for a jazz combo. Everybody's
and anybody with that kind of voice. Of course, an appropriate choice since the award named after George Gershwin. Graham Nash, James Taylor, Cyndi Lauper, Herbie Hancock, Marcus Mumford, Brandi Carlile, and others were all there for an evening filled with love and admiration. I know that later this month you will be able to see that live broadcast. Well, the live recording, I should say, broadcast on PBS as part of, they always show the Gershwin Prize concert. So we will get to see that this month, because this month is celebrating Women in History Month. So a lot of PBS programming connects to all that. There's some New American Experience and American Roots stories. We'll have this concert honoring Joni Mitchell.
I'm just so interested in what she kind of looks like. Is there a picture of her?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I mean, not that you can see her well. She isn't
79.
79, so looking not too bad for her age considering. So, should be pretty interesting to see. I would love just to tune in to hear her sing Summertime.
I like that outfit she's wearing. It's interesting.
Blue
it's like
for
a
today.
Big blue, robe almost.
Morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Chris and Larry. How are you doing today?
Oh,
Good.
We're fine.
Good. Just a question. Was yesterday's show not recorded?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It should be up on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, I'm not finding it on Facebook for yesterday.
Okay, I'll double check. Make sure it's up there.
All right, great. Yeah, I missed it, so I just wanted to listen to it.
Okay, yeah, the link should be there, but we'll make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we had a great guest yesterday too.
Oh yeah, you guys. See, I was out of town. I missed it. I didn't get to hear any of the show. So that's good. I'm glad it worked out. Hey, coming up on 8:32, we got a break. Time for a little business on our side. Of course, an updated forecast for you, and then we will look at our entire list of birthdays through the weekend, as well as any anniversaries we have on the list. But weather is first, and this edition of The Weather brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. With over 30 years of banking experience, I'm here to help you finance your commercial, agricultural, or personal project. Give us a call at 391-1136 or stop by our downtown office at 216 North Main Street, where you'll find old school personal assistance with attention to detail. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Let's see. Rain today, 90% chance. Looking for highs in the low 50s. Winds out of the east, 8 to 11 miles an hour today. Tonight, it's still 90% chance of rain. That'll go until the early morning hours. Look for lows in the upper 40s. East winds 13 to 18 miles an hour. Winds could gust as high as 30. Nice sunny weekend, though. It's sunny tomorrow, highs in the low 60s, but breezy. West winds 14 to 20 miles an hour, gusts as high as 32 possible. Clear Saturday night, lows in the mid-30s. Sunny on Sunday as well, highs in the mid-60s. Clear Sunday night with lows back in the mid-30s. And we'll start your week nice and sunny on Monday as well, looking for highs in the upper 60s. Right now, yeah, you can tell the rain's made the difference. Our humidity is bumped up to 92%. Barometer pretty steady, 29.95 inches. Northeast winds at 5 miles an hour. We, right now, well, actually doesn't look like any precip falling at the moment here outside of the studios. Throughout the area, we do have light rain, however. Temperature-wise, 45 degrees currently here outside of the Flow Studios. That edition of the weather brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County. That includes branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Keysville, Brookneal, and that loan office, of course, right here in downtown Farmville. Oh, yeah, you got it. Birthday and anniversary time now here on The Flow. Your birthday calendar for today brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson PC there on Main Street in Farmville. Of course, it is Friday, so we have all the celebrations for today, Saturday, and Sunday coming your way. You got your whistle all wet and ready to go, Larry?
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of names to get through.
There are a lot of names. You know how I'm going to do this? I'm going to do this day by day.
That makes that perfect because I've got a commercial that I can use to give you a breather.
That sounds good.
All right, let's go.
All right. Friday the 3rd. These are their birthdays. Alyssa Shorter, happy birthday. Betty Thompson. Tabitha Jernigan, sorry about that. Whitney Jenkins and Alexis Spencer. That is for today. We have one more birthday for today, and that is Annie Carter, and she lives in Dillwyn. So happy birthday to everybody who has a birthday today. Now, tomorrow, which is supposed to be beautiful tomorrow.
Going to be gorgeous weather, yeah.
Get out there and celebrate the birthday is Mary Childress, Charlie Wallace, Doris Schott, Bella Marie Bowling, and there's an anniversary on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, David and Carol Bishop are having an anniversary. It also looks like, Russell Green from Cumberland. He's having a birthday. Daniel Wood.
Daniel, yeah. Chris and Fran's Fran's youngest.
A relative to the station. Linda O'Brien is Appomattox, and Mary Holler with an unknown.
Oh, and my sister, Marion.
Yeah, that's the sister. Yep. Okay, and Isabel White. That's the last we have for Saturday.
And that was Saturday. All right, we'll give Larry a breather, and we'll be right back and see who celebrates on Sunday.
The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, business formations, and collections. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
All right. Ta-da. You're on. Still breathing?
Thank you for that break. Although, now that I look at it, I may not have needed the break after all, because on Sunday, which is also going to be another beautiful day,
right,
we have a couple celebrating an anniversary. And that is Todd and Joanne Worsham.
There we go.
Woo.
All right. Made it through. You did it. Congratulations. That's our celebrations of folks. No, I had faith. That we knew of for today and through the weekend. We wish you all a fantastic day. Whatever your day may be, hey, make it last the whole weekend. Why not? We wish you the best whether we know it or not. Remember, if you want to get names to us, simply email them to birthdays@wflo.net or mail them to WFLO. That's 217 West 3rd Street, Suite 2, of course, Farmville, 23901. Your birthday and anniversary calendar brought to you today by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC. Remember, for the right legal advice, to visit Terry, her office there on Main Street in downtown Farmville, right across from the courthouse. So there you go.
They redid that whole courthouse area down there, didn't they, in front of that courthouse?
Oh, yeah, redid it, yeah.
Yeah. How did that turn out good? I didn't really remember it from before. I just remember the traffic being tough going through there.
You know, the last I'd been by where I'd actually had time to stop and look over there, they were still finishing up work, so I have yet to see it all complete. Gotcha. I just had not gone that way. Or if I have, it's been like traffic moving. I'm not going stopping and looking to the side. We got about 20 minutes left to go on the show. You can give us a call for whatever you would like to discuss. Love to hear from you. Otherwise, got some other news for you. King Charles III will travel to France and Germany. That's his first state visit since he became monarch. He'll underscore Britain's efforts to build bridges with European neighbors. Now, Buckingham Palace made the announcement early this morning that Charles and Camilla, Queen Consort, will visit the Union's two biggest countries on a trip between March the 26th and 31st. They'll be hosted by Presidents Emmanuel Macron and Franz-Walter Steinmeier. Now, the palace said the plan to celebrate the nation's shared history and values, as well as commitment to environmental preservation, something very dear to the king's heart, as well as cooperation on the war in Ukraine. Now, again, the trip, the first state visit, actually, since a British monarch since 2015. Queen Elizabeth II stopped traveling in her later years. She didn't go abroad. People came to her.
As it probably should.
When you get to a certain age, yeah.
I mean,
you know,
she's just a character in history that just cannot be touched.
No, I mean, it'll certainly, it's going to be very interesting years from now to see what kind of history documentaries and things like this will be done on her, like we see now on Victoria.
Yeah. Well, and there's a few of, there's already
few
out there that have been somewhat extensive in their storytelling.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, most of her age, her whole entire time was televised. It was all
right.
You think about all the firsts that came during her reign, much less her entire life. Not that there was much of her life before she became queen.
Exactly. She's
very interesting.
I have amazing admiration for her.
Oh yeah, I have great affinity
for the former carried queen. Herself with dignity and grace throughout all her trials and
very
tribulations.
Much so. So I have a hard time believing some things that I have heard of late. From you hear them from other sources and think to myself, no, you know what? For my entire life, I have watched this woman, and I have never seen or heard anything that gives that kind of implication. So I don't believe that.
Yeah. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she lived to 98, I think it was.
Wow.
And she was probably one of the nicest people I've ever known in my entire life. And anybody who's kind of known her or worked with her would say the same thing. But when she got up near the end, it was very easy. She would. It was weird because she would get angry. She would get scared, and she would do things that were just completely not her. So it happens.
Well, and you earn a certain right when you kind of get to a certain age. I can remember my grandmother in her last few years of no. I earn the right to say exactly what I want to say and to do what I want to do, and that was that. And if she didn't want to do it, the world could have turned inside out. It wasn't making a difference. And so you kind of earn that kind of respect.
Throughout the years, occasionally go, God, I can't wait till I get old enough to be able to just do whatever I want.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of earn, although don't think that way too often because then you're kind of dreaming your life away.
Yeah, it is.
But, of course, if you're a big Oscars fan, they come up just a week from Sunday on March the 12th, gearing up for the 95th Academy Awards.
Day the clocks change.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's supposed to do it the night before, but yep, exactly.
Supposed to.
Springing forward. So we have, of course, your guide, for the Oscars. Everything to do March 12th, again, at the Dolby Theater in L.A. We'll begin at 8 o'clock with a live broadcast on ABC. Now, it will also be streamed on Hulu Live, YouTube TV, A&T TV, and Fubo TV. So those services all offer actually brief trials. You could sign up, just watch the Oscars, and then cancel. Or you can stream the show at abc.com and on the ABC app, depending on who your provider may be. Jimmy Kimmel, your host, for the third time, his first since 2018. And that was also the last time the Oscars had a solo host, 2018. The show, of course, went hostless for several years after that. Now, last year, Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes hosted as a trio.
Ooh.
Now, in an ad for this year's show that was styled after the new Top Gun film, Kimmel made a humble case for being the right person for the job because he can't get slapped. I cry a lot, is what he said. Now, you may be wondering what's nominated for Best Picture. Yeah. 10 movies are competing.
That seems really high.
The last couple, it's been 10. It is higher than traditional Oscars. Okay. Of course, the new version of All Quiet on the Western Front, the Avatar sequel, Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking.
Have you seen
some of them all on streaming already?
Have you seen any of these?
Not yet. I have several in my watch list. I very much want to see the new version of All Quiet on the Western Front. I want to see Banshees of Inisherin, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and Tar. I'm really looking forward to.
I think I saw Tar. I think I did. It rings a bell.
You might.
You're not an Avatar fan.
No, I tried twice to watch the first film, fell asleep both times, bored out of my mind.
Wow.
I'm not giving it a third time. I think that it's overblown, over the top, like most of Cameron's recent stuff. I miss Cameron, Terminator director. I don't like modern Cameron director. He's too bombastic.
Really?
It doesn't appeal to me. It's just too much.
I enjoy. I love the Avatar series. I mean, yeah, I agree. It's not a piece of like art.
Oh well, but not much of Cameron's stuff is art. But I love Terminator too. But no, I think he's kind of. I think because of the success he's had, his opinion of himself may have become a little too inflated.
That reminds me of Lucas. Lucas was that way.
That way.
Yeah, he had his campus down where I lived and worked, and I went in there for a job interview one day. And it was great because I'm like going through, getting back to his ranch house. And everything is like a movie set that you've seen in a movie here, and it's like, oh, there's the gas station from this. Oh, there's the store from that. It was fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, you are kind of walking onto a personal movie set.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and the business Sonic Solution actually came off of Lucasfilms,
right?
And so there was this relationship that they had with him that was kind of fun. But a lot of people who worked at Lucas worked there, and they would tell stories about Lucas. And going, it's like, oh, I got called to the office, or oh, I got called to the ranch house.
Dun, dun, like, dun. Yeah. So. Yeah, well, I mean, and you can see it in the films. He was very much that way too. You look at the early Lucasfilms, and you look at the later Lucasfilms, you kind of go, what happened here? Spielberg went through a period, but he's kind of come back around.
Yes.
Not fully to where he used to be, not back to the Raiders' Jaws years, but...
See, this is what I find that very interesting, because it's like, how do you give him a break, But
I don't give him. I think it's just that he's still making films and Lucas isn't.
That's true. That's
I think if Lucas kept, the same thing may have happened with him.
Yeah, Disney Star Wars is a little odd.
Oh no, we won't even go. Disney Star Wars is just wrong.
You just recoil.
It's wrong.
From that thought.
As a classic Star Wars fan who went to theaters to see the originals and grew, you have a very different perspective of someone who is young and coming to the films now. For them, it's a whole different ideal. Yeah. For those of us that are classic Star Wars fans, it's kind of like it's not the same. It's missing. There's something missing.
That first one, I can still remember going to the theater on that first Star Wars. It was a magical, mystical ride.
The only thing that beat it was when I went to see Empire.
Yeah,
because that was even better.
Yeah,
and then it was a little let down with Return of the Jedi.
No, but you're right. It did that second. It was
that's the pinnacle. In any case,
sorry,
no, that's fine. So. Of course, what you may be wondering too, because there's always controversy. What is the controversy this year with the Oscars? Well, aside from the usual snubs and some surprises, the biggest to-do that's being debated surrounds Andrea Riseborough's unexpected nomination of Best Actress. Mm-hmm. Now, she was nominated for a little-seen Texas set drama called To Leslie after A-list stars rallied around her performance. Now, two other Best Actor contenders, Daniel Deadwyler from Till and Viola Davis of Woman King, snubbed. Some saw that as racial bias. The Academy quickly launched into an inquiry into the grassroots campaign and found no reason to rescind the nomination. It was strictly just other actresses rallied behind her for her performance, and it was nothing more than that. But it may still be something you hear about after all the things. Of course, there may be some giggles. With the short film nominee. John Williams is up for Best Score, of course, for The Fabelmans. He's the oldest nominee. He's over 90 now,
I wonder how many he's done. How many...
Of movies?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. I don't know. But who knows? Interesting, no women are nominated this year for Best Director after a historic back-to-back Best Director wins the last couple of years. Also, don't expect to see Will Smith anytime soon. Of course, as we've mentioned before, and so has everyone else. He's been banned for 10 years. He was kind of thrown a bone at one of the secondary awards ceremonies specifically designed for African-American artists. He was given an actor nomination for Emancipation, and I think he kind of was given that because they know you ain't even going to get nominated for the next 10 years for anything you put out there. So they kind of did that, I think, to ease the blow or whatever to him. So be it. There's a lot of buzz going on around the new Amazon show.
Yeah,
Daisy Jones and the Six. It hasn't even premiered yet on Amazon.
Okay.
It premieres today.
Cool.
But there's been all of this buzz based on not just the show itself, but the music coming out of it. Now, according to an employee working behind the scenes, said, "I'm jealous that people are getting to actually meet the stars. This is what they're telling journalists. The Her is not Riley Keough, who's the star of this limited Amazon series, or any of the female stars, but is Taylor Jenkins Reid, who is the best-selling author behind the literary story. Now, among her books, besides Daisy Jones, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Carrie Soto is back, and Malibu Rides, been writing for over a decade. Now, Daisy Jones is the first adaptation of one of Reid's works to hit the screen, but others are in the works. This is already getting so much buzz before it even came out that she's had other work optioned. Now, Reid and her husband Alex adopted an early book, which will come out called One True Loves. That's going to be a film, April 7th. The storyline behind this thing is about a band, basically. No, that's Reid who wrote it. So this Daisy Jones and the Six is this. It's this band, and so the band itself, the actors have actually become very close friends, even on the set, which is interesting. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even see, like on Amazon Music, the songs that they perform. Yeah. Coming out of this, it's getting a lot. It's period. It's 70s, so you've got 70s sounds and vibe in the music. But the talk level has been pretty huge coming out of the whole thing. I've started seeing commercials for it, watching other Amazon shows beforehand to show this.
I hadn't seen anything.
Well, of course, you're only pretty much going to see the commercials on Prime.
Prime, which I do.
Okay,
I do Prime. I've got my 6 platforms.
So there you go. So they're making a real big to do about it. So we'll see, since it premieres today, how that actually goes and how that all takes off.
I always like movies that are based on books. They always seem to be better than the Hollywood writers, because I think the Hollywood writers have a tendency to just use the formula. A
lot of times.
And you get the creativity I see nowadays is coming from books.
Most times. I think where the problem can be depends on how many times is the author involved in the screenwriting. Mm-hmm. Plus, some are very difficult. Certain books are just, the storylines are brilliant, but they maybe are very convoluted, and you've got so many subplots that stuff has to get left out. Yeah. There's no way to make it into a movie and keep it about 2 hours.
But so I go to Game of Thrones, and that was so brilliantly captured what was going on in the book. I was flabbergasted.
But see, they did it as a series, and I think that's what you'd have to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's probably why we're seeing more and more things like this Daisy Jones limited series. Yes. It's a 1 season, it's 6 or 8 episodes, and then they can incorporate the whole book, or kind of what they did with when they redid it. That it was the 2 movies to kind of tell the whole story, or as much of the story as they could. There were a few little things they left out of the book.
I didn't watch that.
But they did a brilliant job, I have to say, in bringing King's story to the screen. In so many respects, you have to look at movie versions of Stephen King books as wholly different. Mm-hmm. It's like they took the original storyline, but then they had to do their own thing because either they didn't know how to film it, or use subplots that can't be put in, or things like that.
I often blame the director or even the producer on that one. If they don't understand the book enough to recreate it, I blame directors for a lot of stuff. Bad acting.
Well, the buck does stop with the director.
Yeah, I'm like, poor Alicia. I'm like, I'd fire that director.
Well, they do have a lot of input into, the performance that is given. I mean, granted, I'm sure in some cases, the actors only have whatever their range may be, but it's up to the director to try and get the best out of the actor as well. It's kind of a relationship here that has to work together.
I think a good director can overcome a bad actor.
You're probably true in many cases.
A bad director can do anything for the best actresses or actors in the business.
True. You think of how many films you've seen where an actor gives an absolutely brilliant performance and it's the only good thing in the movie.
Yeah, it's like I was just thinking of a few scenes, where, you've just seen a dialogue or an epilogue, and then comes in some cartoon character to just destroy it.
And you know what?
What?
And you wonder if was this a directorial choice because it was such a heavy scene that then they figured they needed something lighthearted, or were they even paying attention to the flow? Maybe it was an editing. And the director made a bad editing choice.
I think, So I think, directors should have control over the editing. But, I mean, you get good editors get paid big bucks for their style.
And usually. Some are brilliant editors, and some are okay editors. We just have a couple of minutes left to go on the program. I did have something to kind of put out there, announce whatever you want to say. I do want to mention to our regular listeners, this very possibly the last time you'll hear me on Call Flow, at least for on a regular basis in any case. Not that I'm disappearing, but I will... Well, let's just say not be a regular fixture. Let's put it that way. I have taken on a full-time other position that does not allow me the amount of time. I will still be doing my Saturday songbook show for you, and so look forward to that. So you will still, obviously, of course, hear my melodious tones through promos, commercials, and whatnot throughout the air. But I will be relinquishing the reins of typical day-to-day airtime. And who knows, during the holidays, I'll pop in and surprise you as a guest DJ or something here and there when things
will you wear a
dictate
beard?
Make that possible. Wear a beard? No.
A little bit. Oh, come on.
No, I'm not a beard guy. I probably might grow my mustache back. A lot of people keep asking me about growing my mustache back, so we'll see.
Well, I'm glad you're sticking around and being our consultant. When the emergencies come, we'll try not to.
I will
interrupt you too
help
badly
where I can.
Yeah, I know.
Flow is one of those things where even when you do move on, especially for us old standby folks, you are always still part of the family.
Well, and
so
I don't know if since it's a sad time and a sad. I mean, it's hard to see you go. I've known you only a short time, but I admire you, and I consider
thank you, sir. I
probably a
that.
friend. And
probably, thank you. I like that even more.
It's still out. No?
The jury hasn't fully come in yet.
But I think I just wanted to mention that Francis is not doing really well, but his spirit is amazing. He was diagnosed with ALS, and both of them are asking for cards and letters and just some support for the Woods.
Yeah, and so Chris and Fran very fortunate. They have a close family, and then they have a very close extended family. So Fran's got a lot of people here to help him, and we know that the community feel as close to him. For decades, people have listened to us on air, and so therefore feel very close to us. And it's always wonderful when people see us outside and have such nice things to say, because you're back here behind a mic. So you hope that you're doing good. You hope that you're connecting with people. You hope they like what you do, but you never know until someone says something. So it is always wonderful when we get to hear that, and any little thing like that, I know will just help keep Fran positive. But as you say, he has a brilliant positive attitude, and he is by no means in anything alone. In any case, I'll see you on the radio. 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 I'll see you on the radio.